Have you ever rehearsed an entire conversation in your head, only to realize you haven't even met the person yet? Yep, your brain just turned a 5-second high into a full-blown horror movie, starring you saying the wrong thing over and over. Here's the kicker. Overthinking feels like preparation, but it's really just anxiety doing gymnastics in your head. Trying to plan every word before speaking? That's like trying to put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it. Crazy, right? And yet, here we are, all of us thinking, if I just plan it perfectly, maybe I won't embarrass myself. Spoiler alert, that plan is doomed. All right, let's get real for a minute. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that saying hi to someone new feels like preparing for a full-scale mission. You know the type. Your stomach does gymnastics, your palms sweat like you just ran a marathon, and your brain is playing all the worst-case scenarios on repeat. What if I say the wrong thing? What if they think I'm weird? What if I freeze and start stuttering like a broken robot? And then comes the mental replay. Hours, maybe even days later, obsessing over every tiny word, gesture, and awkward pause. Why did I say that? Why didn't I say this instead? And you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You're human, wired to be cautious in social situations. Maybe you've noticed your friends seem effortless, like they were born with a built-in social radar. TikTok stars, flawless. Meanwhile, you're strategizing how to enter a room without anyone noticing you, like a secret agent on a mission you didn't sign up for. You've probably tried to avoid situations that make you nervous, skipping parties, not raising your hand in class, declining Zoom calls. And while that feels safe in the short term, it only reinforces the anxiety, making it bigger, louder, and way more exhausting. Here's the key takeaway. All those racing thoughts, all that planning, all that avoiding, they're not evidence that you're awkward or incapable. They're just your brain's way of trying to protect you. Once you start understanding why you feel this way, you can stop letting it run the show and actually start enjoying social situations instead of fearing them. So, what do most people do when they feel socially anxious? They overthink. They plan. They rehearse. They run mental simulations that would make NASA jealous. And here's the kicker. It almost never works. Let's say you're preparing for a small talk with someone new. Classic advice says, plan what you're going to say. Think of funny topics. Be confident. Sounds solid, right? Except the moment you open your mouth, your carefully scripted lines evaporate like ice in a microwave. Suddenly, you're left muttering, yeah, actually, I mean no hi. Meanwhile, your brain is screaming, we rehearsed this. Where did it go wrong? And of course, after the interaction, comes the self-criticism. Why am I so awkward? Why can't I say anything normal? Why did I just sound like a failed stand-up comedian? Here's the thing. While you're obsessing over every tiny detail, everyone else is probably too busy thinking about their own awkward moments to even notice yours. Classic brain trick. Then there's the avoidance route. You skip parties, don't raise your hand in class, decline Zoom calls. Sure, it feels safe for now. But avoidance is like trying to escape quicksand by standing still. You're not safe. You're just sinking slower. And each skipped interaction reinforces the idea that social situations are dangerous, which only fuels the anxiety. Here's the funny part. All those helpful tips, lists, and online advice you follow, they often make things worse. Why? Because they treat social anxiety like a math problem. Step 1, Step 2, solve for X. Instead of what it really is, a brain wired to overreact in situations that feel high stakes. Overthinking and avoidance feel like solutions, but in reality, they're just comfort snacks for your anxiety. Tasty in the short term, messy in the long term, and slightly sticky. The truth? There's a better way, one that doesn't involve mental gymnastics or hiding under your blanket. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. Here's the thing. You're not really overthinking because you want to be perfect. And you're not avoiding social situations because you hate people. Nope. Deep down, what you really want is freedom. Freedom to walk into a room without your stomach performing Olympic gymnastics. Freedom to speak without rehearsing every word in your head. Freedom to be yourself without that tiny, nagging voice critiquing every blink, every pause, every tiny facial twitch. It's not about impressing everyone. It's about feeling calm, confident, and in control. You want to know that even if you stumble, even if you say something awkward, you'll survive. You want to move through social situations without anxiety stealing the spotlight. And the good news? That kind of freedom is entirely possible. Once you stop trying to outsmart your own brain and start understanding what it's actually doing, social anxiety loses its power and real confidence starts to sneak in. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff, the heart of the matter. Here's the golden nugget you've been waiting for. Social anxiety isn't really about other people. Shocking, right? It's about your brain treating social interactions like a life or death scenario. Think about it. Your brain evolved thousands of years ago when a raised eyebrow or a scowl could literally mean danger. Like, hey, get out of the cave or the tribe will exile you, and you might not survive the winter. Today, someone giving you a weird look at a coffee shop does not equal life-threatening danger. But your amygdala, the drama queen of your brain, doesn't know that. It screams, danger, danger, panic mode activated. And that's what triggers all the overthinking, sweating, and avoidance. Meanwhile, the person on the other side is probably thinking about their pizza, their cat, or whether they locked the front door. Classic. So step 1 is simple. Stop fighting your brain. Overthinking is your brain trying to protect you, and it's actually doing its job, just in a wildly outdated way. You're not broken. You're wired to survive. Understanding that is the first step to breaking free. Step 2. Reframe the game. Your goal isn't perfection. It's presence. Think of your thoughts like a hyperactive puppy. Overthinking? That's the puppy chewing on your shoes. You don't yell at it endlessly, right? You redirect it, teach it commands, maybe give it a chew toy, and sometimes you just let it nap. Same with your mind. Notice the anxious thoughts, acknowledge them, then gently bring your attention back to the moment. Don't fight them, guide them. Step 3. Practice micro-exposures. You can't build confidence by avoiding social situations entirely. That's like trying to get ripped by sitting on the couch staring at dumbbells. Instead, start small. Say hi to the barista. Make a comment to a colleague. Compliment a stranger's shirt. Tiny victories train your social muscles without overwhelming your brain. Over time, your anxiety bicep gets stronger and quieter. Step 4. Stop labeling yourself. I'm awkward. I'm shy. I can't socialize. These sticky labels are mental post-its that your brain treats as hard facts. Remove them. Replace with, I'm learning. I'm practicing. I'm human. Words shape how your brain perceives reality. Say it enough times, and your mind starts behaving accordingly. Now let's break this down with a fun analogy. Overthinking is like trying to solve a maze by staring at a picture of it from outside. Sure, you think you know the path, but until you step inside and start moving, nothing happens. Experience beats analysis every single time. No amount of mental rehearsals will replace actual interaction. Here's another insight. Humor is powerful. Seriously, laughing at your own awkward moments or imagining your brain as a clumsy cartoon character tripping over its own thoughts can reduce tension almost instantly. Anxiety hates comedy. It literally melts when your mind stops taking itself so seriously. Another game changer is curiosity over judgment. Instead of thinking, I hope they like me, or I better not mess this up, try thinking, I wonder what their story is, or what's going on in their world. This shifts your focus outward, away from your internal drama, and suddenly the social situation feels less like a minefield and more like an actual conversation. Let's talk about this small wins principle. Confidence doesn't arrive in a single lightning strike. It comes from stacking tiny successes. Every minor interaction, asking a question, making eye contact, contributing a thought, builds proof to your brain. Hey, nothing catastrophic happened. Over time, these little wins accumulate, and suddenly your anxiety is no longer running the show. And here's a mental trick for extra mileage. Anchor in the present. Anxiety loves planning disasters, replaying past blunders, and imagining judgment. To break this loop, focus on your senses. Notice the chair you're sitting on, the sounds in the room, the colors around you. Even simple grounding techniques, like feeling your feet on the floor or counting breaths, pull you out of mental simulations and into reality. It's like unplugging a noisy radio and suddenly hearing silence. Finally, remember that social anxiety is a brain problem, not a personal flaw. Your brain is overreacting because it cares about your survival. It's just using outdated logic. By reframing, practicing presence, embracing small exposures, injecting humor, and stacking micro wins, you can outsmart your brain without even realizing you're doing it. The big takeaway? You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to control every word, and you don't have to disappear to feel safe. You just need to show up, gently redirect your thoughts, and prove to your brain that life isn't actually a life or death game. Picture this. It's Monday morning, and you're at your favorite coffee shop. You're standing in line, practicing your confident smile in the reflection of the pastry case. Your brain? Already running a full simulation. Barista, medium or large? You internally scream, "Oh no, this is it. This is the moment that will define me forever." Your mind instantly flashes through 50 worst-case scenarios. What if I say medium and she judges me? What if she thinks I don't know what a latte is? What if I trip on the counter and spill coffee everywhere? You start muttering under your breath. Medium. No. Yeah, actually. All while sweating like you just ran a marathon. Your brain is hosting a soap opera, and you're the tragic protagonist. Enter your friend, calm as a cucumber, watching this circus unfold. He leans over and whispers, "Dude, it's coffee. She literally serves this all day. Nobody cares." Boom. Perspective shift. Suddenly, you realize your brain has been treating a 5-second transaction like an audition for Survivor, Barista Edition. You take a deep breath, say medium, please, with a hint of a smile, and shocker. She makes the coffee. You survive. Nobody judges. Life goes on. Now, fast forward a few weeks. Same shop. You notice a familiar face in line. Instead of freezing, you make a small comment. "Hey, I like your hoodie." They smile. Conversation happens, and you walk out thinking, that wasn't so bad. Tiny victories like this are more powerful than hours of overthinking ever could be. Each little step, asking a question, complimenting someone, making a joke, proves to your brain social situations aren't deadly. Your amygdala starts chilling out, and suddenly the anxiety monster shrinks a bit every day. The takeaway? Social confidence isn't built in one epic moment. It's built in these small, awkward, slightly funny interactions. Every micro-win chips away at overthinking, and over time, walking into a room no longer feels like defusing a bomb. All right, enough theory, let's get practical. Here's a simple, actionable guide to start taming social anxiety today. Step 1, notice your thoughts. Catch yourself spiraling. There's that anxiety brain again. Just naming it takes away some of its power. Don't fight it. Observe it like a curious spectator. Step 2, reframe the fear. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can realistically happen? Usually, the answer is not that bad. You might stumble over a word or blush. Big deal. Life keeps moving. Step 3, take micro actions. Start small. Say hi to a barista, comment on a colleague's shirt, or answer a question in a meeting. Tiny victories build momentum. Don't worry about impressing anyone. Just show up. Step 4, practice humor. Laugh at yourself when you fumble. Imagine your brain as a clumsy cartoon character overthinking everything. Humor reduces tension and makes anxiety less intimidating. Step 5, anchor in the present. Focus on your senses, the chair under you, the sounds around, your breath. This pulls you out of mental simulations and into the real world. Grounding helps you stay present instead of spiraling into what-if land. Step 6, celebrate tiny wins. Every small social success, no matter how minor, counts. Each one is proof to your brain. Hey, social interactions aren't dangerous. Stack these wins, and confidence starts sneaking in naturally. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Apply these steps consistently, and over time, social anxiety loses its superpower. You'll start noticing, hey, this isn't so scary after all. Here's a fun trick I like to call the cartoon brain technique. It's simple, memorable, and actually works. The next time you feel your social anxiety spiking, imagine your brain as a tiny cartoon character, maybe a hyperactive squirrel with too much coffee, frantically running in circles, overthinking every single thing you're about to say. Give it a funny voice if you want. Listen to its chatter for a few seconds, then calmly redirect your focus back to the moment. Why it works? Humor reduces tension. When you laugh at your anxiety instead of fighting it, the pressure melts away. Visualization makes it tangible. Seeing your anxious thoughts as a silly character creates mental distance. so they don't control you. It's memorable. Next time anxiety shows up, your brain instantly recalls the cartoon squirrel, and that tiny shift can help you regain calm instantly. You can combine this with grounding. Notice your senses, your surroundings, your breath. Cartoon brain plus present moment awareness equals anxiety losing its grip faster than you can say, oops, wrong latte. Try it a few times in low-pressure situations, and soon your brain will start cooperating instead of throwing a panic parade every time you speak to someone new. So let's recap. Overthinking isn't a superpower. It's just your brain overreacting, playing a life or death movie in your head when really, all you're doing is ordering a coffee or saying hi. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence, tiny victories, and the courage to show up even when your brain is acting like a drama queen. Remember the steps. Notice your thoughts. Reframe your fear. Take micro-actions. Practice humor. Anchor in the present. And celebrate every small win. Sprinkle in the cartoon brain technique for those moments when anxiety spikes, and you've got a toolkit that actually works. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to start practicing. Each interaction, each tiny success, chips away at anxiety and builds real confidence over time. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit subscribe for more brain hacks, life tips, and social confidence tricks. And check out the next video where we break down why your brain procrastinates and how to trick it into productivity. Your future self will thank you.